Hey everybody, Brian Von VA got a question for you today. DMs, what's your favorite monster to run and why? Let us know in the comments below. Probably Hags. Players never know what to expect. You get roleplay, you get combat, you get challenge, but best of all, they're really smart, really vindictive, and really selfish. It's so easy and so fun to make a hag encounter about more than just kill or be killed. It's about saving hostages, not letting the hags escape and start all over again elsewhere, evading nasty curses, etc. And at the end of it, you get some gnarly magic items, each with a fun and evil side effect, but also really useful if used smartly. So far, I'd say Horde of Zombies. Theater of Mind with my group and a dozen zombies heading their way. They're about 8 HP each, low AC. They ran for a bit, then realized they were heading toward a town. So they turned around and had a "let's do this" moment. My group ripped through them, only to see on the horizon about 100 more heading in their general direction. They chose to skedaddle and hoped the wandering horde didn't see them. Mimics, because they can be anything, anywhere. I had my party come to a door in a dungeon. Above the door was carved a riddle. "When is a door not a door?" The party's wizard smugly shouts out, "When it's a jaw!" They hear a voice respond, "Wrong! When it's a mimic!" And it attacked. Giants! I like running them precisely because of how much they look like humans. The power they can bring to bear with a mere stick is already a thing to fear. I regularly give them the kinds of magics my players can have too. Why wouldn't they? Their hands are just as capable of shaping the same somatic components. Their mouths as capable of forming the same verbal ones. Having someone to look up to in almost every sense of the word, instead of merely a large monster to take down and/or fear. That's what dragons are for. Giants form civilizations, or tribes in the case of hills and frosts, that are a threat merely if they decide they don't particularly care if a cart carrying their food goes over a human-sized town to get to their own houses sooner. Mimic. Need I say more? Need I say less? Mimic paintings eating all the gold they just stole. Mimic doors in the run-down town. The party has to escape by running through an alley in a run-down side of town, which used to have lots of small animals, rodents, birds, etc. A small side quest would have solved this, but murder hobo and shinies are life. The nimble one goes to vault a crate, only for the crate to grab and hold them instead. Ew. Now, if we're talking raw with no homebrew, then I'd probably say Rakshasas. They're hard to kill, but not too deathly dangerous. So instead of a brutal slog of a fight, you have a trickier one against a slippery enemy. Roleplay-wise, they're a blast. Vengeful demons that will dedicate their lives just to punish someone that slighted them. A beholder, or some appropriately weak or strong variants thereof. And an aboleth in tandem. Fearsome control unit that makes a great divide and conquer kind of fight. Give them a cave network with multiple pools for the aboleth to move through and drag people under. It's some good shit. Displacer beasts. Love throwing an ambush predator where even knowing what it is, you gotta find where it is. Bodaks. At first, they just look like weird, freaky zombies. Then the party starts falling down dead. Dragons. I've never had a party which doesn't go, "Ah, fuck!" when you even mention the sight of a dragon. Thanks, Todd Howard. They're a blast to control. High mobility means they can control the battlefield. They have an AoE burst damage from breath attack that can turn the battle and keep the party on their toes. The knowledge that if they win, the party gets access to a literal hoard of treasure. My favorite fights mechanically are always with dragons. Gelatinous cubes. The party notices the sewer is unusually clean. Uh-oh, a cube must be nearby, right? Wrong. They are already in the cube. The Gelatinous cube is so large that it is the dungeon. It allows adventurers to just walk inside it. Then, as they near the middle or the heart of the cube, it starts closing the tunnels it made. Now, they are trapped in the middle of this giant cube and have to fight their way out, somehow. It is easier to eat adventurers if they are stuck in the middle rather than just the outside. Different elements react differently to parts of the cube. They can either escape and let it continue to kill, or they can kill it and loot the treasure that it's accumulated over the years. 3.5 edition D&D actually had this as a monster called a Genius Loci, which was a colossal ooze. A Genius Loci is difficult to spot, since it looks like any other section of landscape. A Genius Loci itself has no intelligence, but rather emulates the sentience of any creature it currently enslaves, if any. Each Genius Loci has only a single enslaved creature at one time, though other creatures may also inhabit the surface of the Genius Loci. Any creature entering a Genius Loci who makes a successful survival check, DC 31, realizes that something is amiss, though it is difficult to tell exactly what. Genius Loci do not speak directly, though they may do so through their currently enslaved thrall. Thought y'all might find that mighty interesting. I like ropers a lot. They make great bosses for low levels and trap monsters or mooks at higher levels to spice up encounters. Animated armor and helmed horror. There's nothing like blindsiding an oblivious party with them than watching the look on the spellcaster's face when their fireball fizzles. Want to make your players mistrust you even more? Animated suit of plate in an anti-magic field. I had a lower level group that I ran through a gauntlet-style dungeon. Great game. Lots of evidence of previous adventurers, including areas of strange spell effects still lingering. They stumbled into a room which was clearly a battleground, and a suit of plate just strewn across the ground. Cue the fighter putting it on, because they were level 2, and damn, that's plate armor! They leave the anti-magic and get through a few rooms before the plate wakes up and starts moving. Fighter making contested athletics checks to not have his own arms slam his allies. They end up dismantling it and get it enchanted later to be semi-animated, which lets it act autonomously to assist the wearer. Pretty fun trick and reward. You want to fuck with them even more, do ya, you little sadists? Throw the above trap variations at them a few times, and then toss a helmed horror immune to anti-magic field into the mix. Yes, I know they're not technically susceptible, but it makes some sense, right? Right? Establish expectations and then break them. Gnolls. Humanoid hyena demon. Flesh-eating, scary-looking dog wolves. You can use them pretty much anywhere. Reflavor them as necessary. Change equipment, fur pattern to match the area, make them feral or somewhat social, and it still works. I introduce new players to giant rats or giant spiders, then goblins and undead. Then set up the scene for Gnolls to be extra barbaric, blood on fur, mouths foaming, mad eyes. It's immediately a fear-hate relationship every time, and I try to walk the line of getting 1 or 2 PCs to 0 HP and let it loom in the air that Gnolls might jump and eat them mid-fight. Hope this inspires some. Happy DMing! Gibbering mouthers. I love them for multiple reasons. Lots of HP and low AC. Feels really good to damage. Low speed. My players will end up kiting them anyway, so not much risk of killing my players. Just a big pile of evil meat. As long as you are dealing with anything evil or weird, you can include it as an encounter. An alien life form from another dimension, a failed attempt at immortality, the demon general fusing the corpses of their soldiers for phase 2, endless possibilities. It has a goddamn tactical flashbang attack. Lets me do weird noises. Bears and remorse. They are insanely fun and are peak monsters. They do it all. I love running homebrew bull-like creatures. Give it good speed, a charge attack, and an ability not to provoke opportunity attacks, and watch it make a combat unlike in most 5th edition. Whether a custom Minotaur or some other homebrew monstrosity, it makes tank players chase and mages fear their positioning, and keeps the pieces on the board moving. Usually a fun time. There was a homebrew monster that I found, and I've used it a few times. It was a massive fish that used its tongue as a lure on the surface. The tip was covered in a sticky adhesive and was formed in the shape of a drowned humanoid. The 3 times I've used it, each party fell for it, and the expression on their face when they suddenly get submerged and dragged 40 feet underwater is orgasmic. Never will I not use it. Gorgon. The fear in players' eyes when their PCs slowly turn into stone is priceless, but diamonds are forever. The Goristro, physically imposing at over 20 feet 6 meters tall and 7 tons 6,400 kilograms. 10-foot reach, can do insane amounts of damage in a turn. Charge, gore, 14d10 plus 7, 85 average piercing damage. DC 21 strength save or get tossed 20 feet away or prone. Or a multi-attack with 2 fists at 3d8 plus 7 gets you a 20 average, and 1 hoof at 3d10 plus 7, 23 average, which is 63 average total. Hoof has a DC 21 strength save or knocked prone, which means crit chance doubles for fists. Big old pool of HP, by the way, 23d12 plus 161, which is a 320 average. Magic resistance, half damage from fire, cold, lightning, and non-magical weapons. Immunity to poison, plus 13 to strength and con saves. Labyrinth recall means any path they've traversed is memorized. Siege monster means they can burst through walls with ease. Drop one of these in a dungeon and it instantly becomes actively terrifying. No cover is safe. Put one in a town and there's no building which can hide them. Their only real downside is banishment, or if they somehow are in wide open space as they have no ranged attacks. Although they could uproot a sizable tree or boulder and huck it at someone from quite a distance. Plus, they're big fuck-off demon minotaurs. I'm running a dragon-heavy campaign right now, and currently my players are assaulting a castle. Filled it with scores of kobold foot soldiers. My players are level 6, and it's fun to let them absolutely roll over hordes of enemies. Really makes them feel heroic. False Hydra, and I don't remember. Good for you. Bandits that are secretly werewolves, shapeshifters, or have some kind of trump card. My players, a group of heroes that most likely share a single brain cell, somehow manage to get captured because their foolproof plan goes as wrong as it can go. They had a nice little surprise when they woke up in a cage the following night. Don't worry, by the way, they're okay. Mostly. Deathlock mages. Need I say more? Recently DM'd an encounter with a warlock of the Fiend Link. It was awesome. They actually get player level action economy, having the reactions for Hellfire as well as some great party splitting spells. It was definitely my favorite NPC to run by far as of late. I really like silver dragons. They're the easiest dragons to give complex motivations, and you can really weave them into a story as a reoccurring character. There does tend to be better roleplay potential for them than most other dragons too, at least in my opinion. Mimics also get a mention because there's just so much fun stuff you can do with mimics. So far, it's the Mind Flayers. There's tons of depth to their backstory. It was interesting how they interact between themselves, subservient species, and other species that are prey, as well as what happens when one or more go rogue, and off branches that occur because of it. I even homebrewed an Arcane Intellect Devourer as part of a one-shot in which I used Alhun. that were capturing a waning Mind Flayer colony for their own ends. Arcanaloths. They're essentially watered-down liches, where their only difference is they don't have 9th level spell slots and they lack phylacteries. The ranger and paladin of my group were slaying every single combat encounter I put against them, until they decided to go off and do their own thing for an encounter. One Arcanaloth was all it took to humble them. Get back in line, soldier. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and let us know in the comments below what is your favorite monster to run and why. And of course, if you want to keep supporting the channel, you can do so by word of mouth, let your friends and family know about us, and you can join our membership program. That gets you early access to videos, and it keeps the AC running this summer. We love you all. Please be safe, happy, and healthy. Toodaloo.